So, for as long as I can remember, I've always been a reader. I always wanted to read when I was younger. I've always had tons of books. My sister would come home from school, and I would want to be playing school with my sister. Or maybe she just forced it upon me. I don't know. I just enjoyed it either way. And I still now, to this day, love reading. I originally started out as an art major in 2013 at OSUM, but changed quickly to English once I got to the library.
Well, I read to you when you were in my womb. So that's when your reading started.
Okay.
And ever since I can remember, you always wanted to read. In fact, when you got in trouble, you were grounded. That is how we grounded you. You couldn't read. So that, I don't ever remember a time that you didn't want to. You loved it.
You liked to read. You were anxious to read. You developed reading by when your sister was in school, wanted to do the things that she was doing. You wanted to go to school. You were ahead of your age for the most part, because you were doing all the things that your older sister was doing.
I remember when I was in probably elementary school and even high school, especially math classes in high school, I used to get in trouble for reading during class, especially books that were not books for class. I didn't like being forced to read things sometimes. I'm not interested in all kinds of reading. I mostly like fiction, stick around fiction, but I would get in trouble for reading during school. And I remember I would get grounded from books as well, because I would get notes sent home from the teacher saying Aaron was reading during class, not paying attention to the lesson. My parents would be like, okay, well, give me the book that you're reading. You're not allowed to read. So I'd have to find something else to do. What kind of kid does that? Who gets grounded from books?
Sometimes it was, Aaron, you need to read school books, not books.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was hard to get you away from the fun reading to do the normal reading for school. So.
So I remember doing spelling tests with my older sister Ashley before I was even in school, before I was in kindergarten. Ashley would come home and she'd have spelling words, and my dad would make her sit and spell the words out loud and have like a spelling bee kind of thing. So Ashley was doing this, means that Aaron wanted to do this as well. So I always remember my dad giving me the same words as my sister. So Ashley would have a word and we both have to spell it, or we both have to write it out. I mean, not always oral, but we'd have to sometimes write it out. And I remember being actually pretty good at this. And my dad at least telling me, hey, you're super good at this, and I'd get a Reese cup or a piece of candy at the end of it because I did so well.
You, quote unquote, did the spelling too. You, 9 times out of 10, didn't spell the words right. But you wanted to do it. It was her homework, and so you wanted to do it because Ashley did it. So, but it actually came really easy to you when you started school. So
I wasn't very good at these spelling tests.
not to begin with. You weren't in school yet, so
You just let me do it.
yeah, I let you do it.
Okay.
We used to have to make you a spelling test because Ashley had spelling tests for school, and you wanted your own spelling test. You weren't able to do those words, so we would make you spelling tests.
Like what kind of words were there? Like 3-letter words?
Well, some of them would be, there were words that you could spell. I mean, sometimes we put your name on it.
Was I good at these spelling tests? Did I do well?
Yeah, you were excited about it. You wanted to study them and do them, and you wanted to do all the things your sister. You were mad that you couldn't go to school and she did.
Wow. I think now I've really transitioned into different kinds of reading because I've always been strong reader no matter what. And I've always wanted to read, and now that I am an English major, I'm forced to read all the time. So it's like this paradox where an English major has no time to read, and I think that's really true. I don't really have as much time now to read as I have in the past. I don't get to sit and binge read, if that's a thing, an entire book series or a 1,000-page book like I used to. Now, I'll be lucky if I get to sit down and read a comic book or two outside of class, because most of the time now I'm just like burnt out. I read what I have to read for school, and then all I want to do is like sit and play on my phone or something like that. But I think I've learned a lot through being an English major specifically, because some of the books we're reading I've read before, or I've read in high school, and I'm looking at things a different way now. When I read books, even for leisure, a slight chance that I actually get time for leisure reading, I like to analyze books now, and I like to see what the author was trying to say. Or I think in the coming years, especially going into library science, I'm going to improve my literacy or my reading in different ways rather than more leisure based. I think it's going to become more academic based. I'm going to want to read about possible technological advances rather than, I don't know, the newest teen fiction apocalypse story. I don't know. I think that I'll always have a love for reading, though, no matter what.